Hello, everyone. This is part two of our discussion on the different blended learning models. Um, Another strategy also, the blended synchronous and asynchronous online course delivery that I'd mentioned. Blended learning is much more than a convergence of face-to-face and this is the one I'd mentioned to you that a literature also say that pwede siyang rotational in nature, face-to-face, and then separate ang online. But in this diagram, this will actually tells us from the different models that I presented in the prior slides, we can boil it down actually to six common models. And the flipped classroom and very specific model is a 1 hour asynchronous or 2 hours synchronous. That is for a 3 unit or a 3 hours lecture class. No, you can do that 1 hour synchronous or the 2 hours asynchronous. You can do also guided laboratory 3 hour synchronous that students or groups also work independently. So there is technology there. This is 3 hours synchronous. Um, Another that we can do also is the integrated lab time. 1 hour synchronous, 2 hours asynchronous, final hour synchronous. We can actually do this in the online in the ODL. This is what sometimes we do at Seoul office. We determine like in a 3 or in a 5 hour, we we divided our time like if we have a synchronous, the one I mentioned to you, bichronous, synchronous, and then break, there is a synchronous time that they can do, and then we will meet again for the final hour for the oral presentation and some other stuff to do during the synchronous activity. We can do like for capstone and independent learning, we can also do 2 hours synchronous with access to faculty support and 1 hour synchronous. It's really up to us on how we are going to divide our synchronicity or total engagement with our students. Project-based courses, suggested for a project-based courses, 2 hours synchronous and another 2 hours asynchronous, or at least equal. No, like if that is a 6 hour class, at least equal 3 hours for asynchronous and 3 hours for synchronous. Or if that is 3 units, 1.5, 1.5. The self-directed course, this is the one I'd mentioned to you, the self-pacing type of modality is a purely asynchronous, no? Purely asynchronous, self-directed, because you don't meet, especially you don't meet because the system automatically open and lock and then allow the student to escalate to the next exercise or to bar or to stop the activity within a certain period of time, according to your specified learning outcomes or objective. So self-directed course is purely asynchronous type of delivery. Okay, now let's try to boil down the so many models that I'd shared with you. The common is actually there are only four. Just to give you an idea: rotational model, rotation model, the flex model, and the self-blended model, or the self-paced, and the last one is the enriched virtual model. So flex model, I'd share that with you that students spend more time learning basic content online, and this is more into the online platform. While the self-blended model, or sometimes called as the a la carte model, give the student an option to pick and choose courses into this. And this is commonly found actually in the high school, no, in the high school level. That's what the study shows, which is more effective in the high school. And enriched virtual model, this is also, it differs from full-time virtual school because in this model, face-to-face is required. Okay. Now, with all of this, let us try to complicate our life. And there is a new and popular model now, which many instructional designers and strategists said that what is fitting for the COVID-19 pandemic time. And this is what they call high flex. No? High flex is a type of blended learning that combines elements of both online and classroom-based learning, but they take this as hybrid courses to a new level of flexibility. It's not an ordinary type of blended learning. It's high flex because it combines so many things: technology, the content. Remember, technology, content, and knowledge. Uh, Common mechanism into this: student choice. Yes, it can be, because in our limited face-to-face, students can opt not to attend face-to-face. No? Can we allow in person? Yes, we can allow in person, synchronous instruction and discussion. But the question is, what are we going to do with in terms of the total engagement with our face-to-face and into our online? There are so many things to consider actually when we transition our syllabus from fully online to a high flex or to a blended type of learning in general. Many also suggest that when we do high flex type of model, we can do this. No, it's whether uh, the online component and the face to face. The number here, the percentage here are just the suggestions, but what is the literature actually? What the literature is telling us is we can have an equal distribution of our online and face to face, and in the hybrid also, those challenges that I presented to you, the assessment, the preparation, are treated as one preparation. But it's really a big task. It needs so much preparation and full understanding in terms of pedagogical and instructional designing in relation to the achievement of the learning outcomes of a particular subject. To visualize what's a high flex type of learning, for fully in person, we know that students can come into the class, while blended learning, they're in the class, there is a schedule that they can do face to face and at the same time with the use of the gadget, meaning both the blended part, I mean the technology, the virtual and the face to face are both in schedule, while the hybrid is a combination of additional accessibility and platforms. Like it could be mobile, uh, it is 24/7, and it has, of course, there is face-to-face component also. To differentiate that with the HyFlex, the HyFlex is really more on student oriented, meaning students have the are being prioritized. It's very student outcomes or student-led type of environment. Unlike with the old hybrid thing is kung ano lang yung dineclare ng institutions is purely class-based in nature. While the high flex is there is a combination of self-directed learning. While the fully online is also a different story, which that's what we do during 2020, 2021. Now, let's put COVID-19 in the equation. Um, let's put COVID-19 in the equation and incorporate that in the high flex model that we know based on literature. When I say let's put COVID in the picture is let's try to understand the limitations set by our government in the limitations in relation to health and safety protocols, because after all of this limited face to face, as they say, as we go on, as we move forward, this gonna be the new normal, the new normal in teaching and learning, the flexible learning. For us, for many institutions here, we opted to do the use of technology, the use of digital technology on how we define flexibility in our teaching and learning.